Good morning, dear students. Today, again I want to welcome you to this class to understand more about noun. As you know, in the previous classes, we discussed about various parts of speech. We discussed about noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunctions and interjections. And we discussed briefly about them. And in next class, we discussed about noun. As I had promised you to discuss every individual parts of speech. So we started last class about noun. And in the last class, we discussed different types of nouns. We also clarified our doubts about different types of nouns. And today, we will discuss something new, more about the noun. What is this? This is the cases, functions and relations of noun. This is also very important chapter. Let's say how these cases and functions with relations of the noun today. So for that, let me write a diagram. See, when we talk about the cases of a noun, we use noun in different ways, different cases. For example, subjective case. Subjective case can also be called nominative case. In nominative case, what happens where a noun is functioning as a subject. For example, Hari is a doctor. Ramu plays cricket. So here you see in those sentences, Hari and Ramu functioning as a subject. Both Hari and Ramu functioning as a subject. Therefore, they are called the subjective case of or nominative case, we say. Understand? So, here what happens when the question will ask, who is a doctor? Example is coming as a who? Verb and question mark. Similarly, who plays cricket? Rama plays cricket. When the question comes with who, we identify the subject. So, this is called the nominative case. Okay? So, in a sentence, when the noun is functioning as a subject, it is otherwise called nominative case. So, here you find that the nouns have been used at the beginning of the sentence and we can get the answer when we put a question who. As I have told you, who is a doctor? The answer comes Hari. Who plays cricket? Who does play cricket? The answer comes Ram. Okay? So now let's discuss about the objective of this. Objective case of noun. When we talk about the objective case of the noun, objective case when the noun is used as an object. Objective case means, for your information, when we use a noun, an object, that means called objective case. Now we understood the nominative or the subjective case. The next topic is how we are using this objective case. You see, when we talk about objective case, one can be dative or accusative case. What happens is, now you see example I am giving you. Hari is a doctor. See, this is a simple sentence. So what happens? Hari is a noun. A doctor is also a noun. But here the doctor is coming after the verb. So here it is functioning as an object. What happens in our sentences when we are talking about transitive verbs, here after this transitive verb, the object comes. This verb has affected this object. So sometimes what happens, this is called the objective case of the noun. Here this is a subject, this is object. So this is a noun, this is also a noun. But here the noun we have used is otherwise called the objective case of the noun. Okay, but what happens sometimes the transitive verbs have more than one objects. Let's write a sentence. Here Ramesh made Hari a doctor. You see, here in this sentence, you can see this sentence, Ramesh made Hari a doctor. What happens? Here, Ramesh is the subject, made is a verb, Hari is an object, and a doctor is also an object. So here we should know that we have two different objects. Hari is subject, forget this. This is used as subject. But we have two doctors, two objects. Here Hari is a living being, a person, whereas doctor is the title. It's not that something living, it is a title. Okay, so what happens when in this case the Hari is called the living things, always called the indirect object. Living things often are indirect objects, whereas non-living things are direct objects. So the non-living object, the indirect object is otherwise called dative case. Indirect objects are often the dative case of the statement. So here the question comes, who made Hari a doctor? Then comes Ramesh. Who was made a doctor by Ramesh? Hari was made a doctor. What was Hari made? It is a doctor. Okay, so in this case what happens? So we can say the living thing is an indirect object, therefore it is a dative case. Okay, next we'll discuss about some other things. Other things means accusative. So before going to discuss about this accusative, let's have another example of this dative for your clear understanding. You see, here Ramesh broke the chair. Who broke the chair? Ramesh broke the chair. Here Ramesh is the subject. chair is the object. Ramesh is the subject and chair is the object. Here only one object is there. This is the transitive form. This is the transitive form. Another thing, let me tell you. Hari asked me a question. See, here Hari is the subject, asked is a transitive verb, me is an object, a question is another object. As I have told you, here me, which is a person, a living thing, so it is an indirect object, and question is a non-living thing, it is called a direct object. Okay, so what happens? This indirect object is otherwise called dative object, as I have told you. The next topic now we will discuss is accusative. Okay, accusative. As we understood what is dative, now it is accusative. Accusative means when a noun functions the object of a preposition, it is not influenced by the verb. It is functioning as the object of a preposition. You see, one example I am giving you. My book is on the table. My book is on the table. See what happens here? We have a preposition. What is that? We have a preposition. And the table is functioning as the object of the preposition. So here this table, which is functioning as an object of a preposition, this table is nothing to do with this is or anything else. The verb is nothing to do with this table. This table is related with on. Therefore, this table, which is an object, is functioning as the object of a preposition. Therefore, it is called accusative case. Similarly, another example, we can say, she is playing. She is playing in the playground. She is playing in the playground. See, she is playing. She is playing. Where she is playing? In the playground. You see, here the playground is functioning as an object of this preposition. Playground is nothing to do with this play. So it is functioning as the adjective of this preposition. Therefore, it is called accusative case. Okay? So you understood? These are, we discussed nominative, objective, dative as well as accusative case of noun. Let's discuss the possessive. The next case of a noun is possessive case. We will discuss about these possessive cases broadly in other class, but today let's have some basic understanding about these possessives. Possessives are created either by using apostrophe s or s apostrophe, or we can use of. S or apostrophe are used for living things, and of is for non-living things. Example I am giving you, Ramos book. Here we have made a possessive case with Ramos because Ramos is a living thing. Okay, we cannot write chairs leg. Here we cannot write chairs leg because here chair is not a living thing. We can write it using the leg of chair. When we talk about the possession or ownership, possession means what? The question comes whose. Question is a whose. Possession means it is talking about ownership. Who is the owner? And for different other purposes also we use possessive case, but here we are talking about the possessor. Here what happens when we are talking about the book, whose book is? It is Rama's book. When we put question by using whose, the answer comes Rama's. Similarly, when we talk about the leg of chairs, the answer whose legs? The chair's leg. But here we cannot write chairs, because chair is not a living thing. Therefore, we can use of to make the possessive case of this noun. Instead of writing chair's leg, we can write the leg of chair. Okay? So similarly, next class, next topic, you understood this, the possessive case. This possessive case of a noun is a big chapter. We will know what different rules are available to talk about the possessive case of noun. In another class, we will discuss them broadly. But here today, we are simply understanding how we make possessive case of noun with these examples. When it is a living thing, we make apostrophes, we give apostrophes or s apostrophe if it is plural subject. When it is non-living thing, we use of to make its possessor, to show the possessive case of a noun. Okay? So now let's discuss about vocative. See, we understood subjective or nominative case of a noun. We understood objective case of a noun, how it is a dative case and a accusative case. Similarly, we understood the possessive case of a noun, and now we are understanding the vocative case of a noun. Vocative case means what? We discussed these three. Now we are discussing the vocative. Vocative case, we say when it is a vocative case of a noun, we say that when a noun or a pronoun is used to call, when a noun or a pronoun is used to call or to get the attention of a person or persons. Understood? When we want to get the attention or to make somebody to listen to us, what I am telling. So when we attract the attention of somebody or some people, in that case, we use some noun which are called the vocative case of the noun. Example, let me tell you. Example, what are these example? Boys, sit down. Boys, sit down. And sit down, boys. We can write it. You see, boys, sit down. So when the speaker talks about the boys means what? Here we give much stress on boys to attract their attention towards us. Boys, sit down. Girls, stand up. Students, stand in queue. So after these boys, we have given a comma to put much emphasis over these boys so that we can attract the attention of the boys. Similarly, we can write in either way, both the ways. Here we can say boys sit down or sit down boys. So these are the ways we can express the vocative. Vocative means to attract attention of a person or some persons towards us. Okay, so here these nouns are functioning as in vocative case. Understood? Now we understood after these boys we must have a comma. Similarly, if we write the boys at the end also, before boys we should have a comma. This is the syntax of writing vocative case of noun. Now we will discuss different functions of noun. Okay? Just wait. Now, after discussing the cases of this noun, let's discuss about different functions of a noun in our speech or statements. Sometimes what happens, nouns are functioning as complements of verb. That means, complement means, without these words in our sentence, the meaning of our sentence is incomplete. To complete the meaning of our sentence, we use some words. Example I am giving you. Hari is a doctor. So here is Hari. Hari is a doctor. Who is a doctor? Hari. What is Hari? A doctor. As we understood that this verb which is talking about the state is a linking verb. And without this, a doctor after this verb, if this word doctor is not there, after this verb, our sentence is incomplete. So, here it is functioning as a complement of this verb. What is it said? The complement of this verb. Another example, we can say, again, this is what? This is an object. This functions as an object. Next such example we will discuss right now is that they made Suresh, they made Hari their captain. You see, they made Hari their captain. Who made? They made. Whom did they make their captain? They made their captain Hari. What did they make Hari? Their captain. You see, here they made Hari. This is a verb. What did they make? This is a, what do you say? This is two objects are available. This is an object. This is another object. And this object is the object of another object. You see? So, what happens? They made, if we don't write this much, they made Hari. They made Hari what? Question will come over there. So, these functions without this word, our sentence is incomplete. Our sentence is incomplete. Therefore, if this word is written, which is an object of another object, so here this is functioning as a complement. And without this, our sentence is incomplete. So here what happens? It is the object of Hari and now functioning as a complement. So what happens? Sometimes the nouns functioning as a complement of verb. Without them, our sentence is incomplete in its meaning. Okay? Now we will discuss how case in opposition to a noun. Okay? Next is case in opposition to a noun. Though you are already very good students, you have been learning a lot of grammatical constructions for long time. Therefore, I am sure you have fundamental knowledge about them, because in your previous classes your teachers might have taught you about them. But as I have told you, we are revising the past discussions. So let me clarify this. Apposition, case apposition. Case apposition means what? When two nouns, noun 1 and noun 2 in a sentence, noun 1 and noun 2 in a sentence is talking about the same person. Okay? See, talking about the same person, then the second noun is called in apposition case. In apposition to a noun. Case in apposition to a noun. See, I am giving you an example, then you can better understand. Example is here. Ramesh, the name of a person. The doctor saved my life. Ramesh. Who is Ramesh? The doctor. Who is doctor? Ramesh. What did Ramesh do? Ramesh saved my life. The doctor saved my life. So here we are talking about the Ramesh who is the doctor. The same person. So we have given two nouns for a single person. Ramesh, the doctor, saved my life. Okay, so here this doctor is functioning the case in apposition to the noun. Similarly, another example I am giving you, you can note it down. Tagore, the poet, got Nobel Prize for literature. Here, Tagore, the poet, both are the same person. Rabindranath Tagore is the only poet. We are talking about the same person using two nouns. Here, when we are talking about Tagore, we are talking about the poet. Here, poet is the only Tagore. Therefore, the poet is functioning the case in apposition to a noun. Understand? So, here the nouns are also functioning as a case in apposition to another noun, and this is how the case in apposition. Tagore got Nobel Prize for literature. Similarly, this poet is giving more information. That means talking about him only. So here the poet is functioning as case in apposition to the noun. Because we are talking about the same person, both the nouns are talking about the single person. Therefore, here the poet, the word, is functioning as a case in apposition to this noun. Okay? Therefore, Tagore, the poet, got Nobel Prize for literature. So, in this case, we understood this is how the different functions of noun. We understood the cases of noun. Different cases like subjective or nominative case, objective case, possessive case, and what do you say, the other case. Similarly, we discussed what is dative case, what is accusative case, and similarly, now we understood the functions of a noun. The function is functioning the nouns are functioning as a complement of a verb as well as a case in opposition to noun. So these are some of the things we discussed briefly to have some ideas collected from our past discussions so that we will be confident now. So these are the cases, functions and relations of noun. And next class we will discuss more things relating noun and other parts of speech. For today, this much. Thank you.